Holy crap, guys. Week 1 this season so far was great. Kind of hope the rest of the season is like this too. Um we had crazy close games, blowout wins, pretty much anything you would really ask for a NFL week. It happened. Even like even the player was ejected. That's just crazy. Week 1 and the dude was already ejected. But anyway, I'm gonna go through all of these games, and I just hope you guys enjoy this one. So let's get right into it. Turn the light on so there was a little better lighting. But first, we had the Cowboys and Eagles game where the Eagles won 24-20, and my God, did everybody underestimate the Cowboys? Even I did, and they only lost by 4. That was just a crazy game, but just I just feel like if the Cowboys play exactly like how they did in that game, they can definitely win a good amount of games this season. And yeah. By the way, all of the stats and stuff will be over here for you guys to see. I do have to do this just slightly different just because I am very busy this week. But Eagles, they looked pretty decent. Saquon Barkley wasn't really able to get much running going. I think he had somewhere around like 60 yards or something like that. Jalen Hurts looked pretty good. Um, Dak Prescott was doing his thing there. CeeDee Lamb, though, holy shit, he had a pretty good game until he started dropping all of those balls. But it was just a pretty good game from both sides. There was quite a lot of penalties as well, and plus that ejection that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that happened in this game. But like I said, pretty good game. And let's move on to the second one. Then we had the Los Angeles Chargers and Kansas City Chiefs game where the Chargers won 27-21 in Brazil. This was also a very nice game, and also the first one that was free on YouTube that a lot of YouTubers were able to do for free, which was pretty nice. Like actually see the game while they're commentating. That's what I meant. By the way, if you're hearing any noise, they're doing work over like across the street. So if you hear that, then I'm sorry. But oh boy, the uh the fans in Brazil, they were pretty crazy for this game. Chargers, they they look pretty good. Um Kind of surprised that the Chargers were actually able to win this one, but definitely glad that they did. Um, I did see all of the uh, teams except for the Chiefs in their Division One for this week, which is actually pretty funny. Um, but anyway, this game pretty good. Um, if there was anything I would say, there was kind of a lot of penalties in this one too. There was just a lot of penalties this week in general, but there was quite the amount of them in this one. I think like 16 total accepted penalties. But yeah, let's now move on to the next game. Just before we get into the next game, I do just want to say I already made a separate video for the Raiders and Patriots game. So I'll put the little thing up here for you guys to click on that so you can watch that separately. But on to the next game. Then we had the Miami Dolphins and Indianapolis Colts game. And my God, did the Dolphins get absolutely smacked in this one? The Colts, they were they were just firing on all cylinders today. I mean yesterday. Yesterday when I was recording 2 days when you guys see this video. But man, it was a horrible one for the Dolphins. I can definitely say that. Not too sure really what happened with their offense and defense. It looked like they just couldn't get anything really going. And then there's Daniel Jones on the other side of the field. Friggin' holy shit! This game just blew my mind. I don't understand why it happened like this or how it happened like this, but I'm very glad it did. But got a lot more games to get through here, and gonna try to start making these a little shorter. So let's get into the next one. Then we have the Jets and Steelers, and holy shit. This one I thought was going to be the game of the week until this game happened, which was the Ravens and Bills. Holy shit, that. Like, what the hell happened this week? What do they give these teams? But, Steelers, they had a really good game. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. I think the last time a Steelers quarterback had 4 touchdowns in a game was 2021 with Ben Roethlisberger. So that was pretty cool to see. Um, the friggin' Jets, they kept up with them the whole time. That's a scary thing to think about as a Patriots fan because they could they could be good. They could be good. But definitely glad the Steelers got the win there. I did have them winning in my predictions, so it was a pretty good thing that they won. Um this week I wasn't really too sure how I was going to do on my predictions, and wow. Just wow. I did pretty good. I'll let you guys know in my next predictions video on the actual thing. But Steelers and Jets, this was a really fucking good game. And I wish this one was the game of the week, but it wasn't. And I'm kind of sad about that. But anyway, on to the next one. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Panthers. This game, pretty decent. Jaguars had a pretty good game here. Uh, Panthers, they really couldn't get much going. Um, I didn't really get to see a lot of this game. Uh, a lot of games I didn't really get to see a lot of just because I was working quite. I was working during that time where like all the 1 p.m. games were going. So some of these I might not have too much to talk about, but this one for excuse me, for Jaguars fans, this one was pretty good for you guys, and honestly, pretty happy that you guys got the win here. I don't know why I have so many burps coming up right now, but yeah, this one was a pretty good game for you guys. Um, hopefully the Panthers can do something next week though. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. Then we had the Cardinals and the Saints, with the Cardinals winning this one 20-13, and Kyler Murray was sick through this game. Pretty surprising that he still won this. Um, He had over 250 yards, I believe 262 total yards passing, and he had 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty good out there. It was a pretty good game, and the the Saints, they had a, I guess, decent game. They had a lot of problems, but I mean, it's week 1. All teams are gonna have their problems, but Cardinals, they were definitely the better team here for this game. Um, I also saw uh Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride for the Cardinals were the two receivers that really got anything. That that's just weird. But yeah, this one was a pretty decent game. And it was actually the same exact score as the Raiders and Patriots game, which is also pretty funny. But on to the next one. Next, we had the Giants and the Commanders, with the Commanders winning this one 21-6. The Commanders had this game in the bag the whole time. The Giants, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Malik Neighbors was pretty much the only thing going for them. And yeah, there was also uh, Malik Neighbors and uh, the coach there, was it uh, Brian the Bull or whatever the fuck his name is? I don't know. They were fighting. They were getting verbal about everything. Um, this was just not a good game for the Giants, and for the Commanders, the uh, quarterback Jaden Daniels, he was actually repping a Japanese flag on the back of his helmet to uh, honor his grandmother, which he's going to be doing all season, which I think is pretty cool. And also, he had one of those gold NFL shields on his jersey to represent his award win back in 2024. And that was pretty cool. And honestly, this game couldn't have gone any better for the Commanders. The Giants, I am not too sure what's going to happen in the next few weeks, but I am not ready to see what happens. But let's get on to the next game now. Then we had the Falcons and the Buccaneers game, which was definitely a very good rivalry game here. Um, Falcons, they only lost because of a last second field goal kick that actually was a miss. But both of these teams, they played very well. Michael Penix, almost at 300 yards passing. He was at 298, I believe. Bijan Robinson, 100 yards rushing. Baker Mayfield looked pretty good out there as well. Um, saw a lot from, I think it's Emeka Ibuka, if I am correct. I'm not too sure, but he had a pretty decent game. Um, this one was just one of those rivalry games that everyone could get behind. This one was definitely for the Buccaneers and Falcons fans out there. This one was a doozy until the end, and the Buccaneers, they just happened to have a slightly better team at the end of it. And I'm just happy that all of you Buccaneers and Falcons fans got to see such a beautiful game, because there was some games that weren't that close at all. And The next game that I'm going to talk about was actually a lot closer than this one. So let's get into that. And here is that game, the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals won 17-16. Holy crap. Joe Flacco did not look good passing, had 2 interceptions and a touchdown. Um, Not really that great of a run game from the Bengals, to be completely honest. Um, yeah, there wasn't many runners for the Bengals either. There was only two, um, which is kind of weird. I've never seen that all that often, but it happens. But I guess you could say this was a pretty good defensive game here. One of those uh big defensive games. But pretty nice watch nonetheless. Um I'm glad the Bengals finally was able to get a win for the first week of the season too, because last season they lost against you know who. But yeah, just very glad got to see them win this season against their rival, the Browns. And as you guys know already, I said I don't have to talk about the Raiders and Patriots game. So now we go on to the next game after that one. We had the 49ers and the Seahawks, with the 49ers win this one 17-13. This noise is actually really starting to get annoying out here, but I'm just going to have to keep on doing this because this is the only time I can really record this. But the 49ers, they had a pretty decent game. The Seahawks, who Seahawks, they did not look that great at all. Really, you could say both teams didn't really play all that great, but the 49ers did look like the better team here. Um, I did see Ricky Pearsall got over 100 yards as well, so that was pretty nice to see. Um, this game probably was a little bit of a snooze fest for 49ers and Seahawks fans, but was also more of a defensive game. And sometimes we like to see defensive games. And that's what this was. And the next game, I could say, is pretty much as a defensive game as this one was. So let's get right into that one. Next, we had the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos. This one was a pretty fun game. The Denver Broncos won 20-12, and honestly, both teams looked decent in this game. Not that great, but I mean, it is what it is. Uh, I mean, there was a lot of turnovers. Broncos had 4 total, and it really did not look great for them until they started getting their defense really going, which then they really kept the Titans from really doing anything. And at the end, the Broncos they got the win, and all Broncos fans are happy. And honestly, I'm also happy because I was hoping the Denver Broncos would win this one. But anyway, that was really all there was for that game. But Cam Ward, he at least did pretty decent for his first start. I know he got sacked quite a lot, but I mean, that's also whatever. He they're gonna build up on that. It's only week one still, so they're gonna build up on that quite a lot. But anyway, let's get on to the next game. Then we had the Packers and the Lions game, and oh boy, the Packers were friggin' unbelievable in this game. Micah Parsons, he only played about 45% of the defensive snaps and still had a pretty decent day with a sack and 3 pressures. So, yeah, that that was pretty good. Um Obviously there was a few passes from Jordan Love that were a little suspect, but other than that, a very, very good game from the Packers. On the other side of things, though, I am not too sure what happened with the Lions. I don't think I've seen the Lions play like this in quite a while. And like I've been saying in this video, it's only week 1, so it's probably just a little bit of rust. But man, I was not expecting the Lions to lose in that sort of fashion. I thought this game was going to be a lot closer, but it's whatever at this point. And Packers fans, oh boy, you boys, you all have to be happy right now. But anyway, let's get on to the next one. And that next one was the Rams and Texans, with the Rams winning this 14-9. This game was a weird one. We saw we saw a very small amount of points. Um, we also saw uh, pretty much just a very big defensive battle here. At one point, Puka Nakua was bleeding from his head somewhere. I think it was like right around here, and was like going all the way down, and it looked like it was coming from his eye, and that looked a little scary. But I think it was above his eyebrow, so that's good at least. Um, he also had a pretty good game too. I know that. Um, Texans, just not too sure what happened with them. They didn't look all that great in their game. But week 1 rust, I'm just gonna blame it on that for this game as well. But yeah, those last 2 games, they were pretty decent. But this last one that is before tonight's game, well, at least tonight when I'm recording this, yesterday when you're seeing this. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyway, let's go over to the next game. Ravens and Bills. Holy shit. This one is going to be game of the week if Vikings and Bears doesn't get to this level. But holy shit. Derrick Henry had almost 200 yards, like, just in the game. Um, at one point, the Bills were down 40-25. I think that was with like 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they came back to win. This game had literally everything, and this one is definitely going to be a candidate for game of the year. And it's only week 1. I've seen a lot of people say this was a friggin' playoff caliber game, and I honestly can see that. Like, man, the I thought this game was over until all of a sudden the Bills decided to be like, "Yo, hold my beer. I'm coming back from this." And they just did. And I guess that's how the NFL MVP does. It That's just how it is. But now we have the last game to get to, so let's do that. The final game has just ended. It's actually legit like 11:40 at night when I'm recording this. But we just had the Vikings and Bears game, where the Vikings won 27-24. This one, holy crap, a tale of two halves this was. First half was pretty much all Bears. They were doing everything right. JJ McCarthy did not look good whatsoever. But then the second half came and that just completely changed. 21 points in the fourth quarter for the for the Vikings, and they got the comeback win. This game at one point was at 17-6, and it just looked like the Vikings were not going to be able to win it, but I'm definitely glad that they did because I had them winning this week on my predictions. And with that win, oh boy, did I have a good prediction week. But you guys will find that out in the video that I post later this week about the predictions, which most likely would be Wednesday. But anyway, I hope you guys like, subscribe, comment, do really whatever you want to do, and as always, I hope you like, subscribe. Fuck, I already said that.